YouTube. This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let's talk about Ralph Sampson. All right, so Ralph Sampson, in my opinion, is one of the greatest collegiate basketball players in the history of the game. Man. I would put Ralph Sampson's college basketball career and his accomplishments. I would say he's arguably top five all-time collegiate basketball player. And when you look at his NBA career, he was initially teamed up with Akeem Olajuwon. Back then it was Akeem before he added the H later on in his name. They were the original Twin Towers, and they were supposed to be the future of the NBA. And before the injuries, Ralph Sampson was having a Hall of Fame pro career, but his knees ultimately, injuries, basically his knees just gave out, and by the early 90s, his career was over. But he was a unicorn in so many ways. He was a prototype to the Giannis Antetokounmpos and the Wembys. And in my opinion, I think I don't know how good Wemby's going to be, but I'll tell you this. Ralph Sampson was better off the block than Wemby has been, in my opinion, at least offensively. Now, defensively, that's a little bit different story. But man, Ralph Sampson was 7'4", probably 7'2.5" without the shoes, 228 pounds, and was absurdly athletic before the injuries. Like, keep in mind, he had a 36-inch vertical leap. We're not talking about a guard. We're talking about a guy that's 7'4". If you know anything about physics and size, that's insane for a guy to be 7'4" and have a 36-inch vertical leap. And not only that, he could rebound pretty well. He was a very good passer for a big man, and he should have been. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame because of his collegiate career, but he should have been even greater, man. And they did ultimately go to an NBA Finals. But anyway, Ralph Sampson, in an interview with Clutch Points, said that he believes that he would average 30 points and 20 rebounds in today's NBA. He said, quote, "I could have played in this era for sure, and I would probably dominate the game more than I dominate the game in the past. 30 and 20 easy. They say I'm Wemby the first, he's Wemby the second, but I'm Ralph the first, he's Ralph the second. I could post up, I could dribble, I could shoot outside. We didn't shoot threes when I played, but I'm sure my mindset would have been really, really tough to play, and I would have been at an elite level of the game." Let's go over some numbers right quick. I want to make sure I'm accurate when I'm talking about this stuff right here. So for his career, and this of course includes injuries, Ralph Sampson was Rookie of the Year, 83-84 with the Houston Rockets. The first 4 years of Ralph Sampson's career, he was an All-Star. For his career, Ralph Sampson averaged 15.4 points, 8.8 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 0.9 steals, and 1.6 blocks. He shot 48.6% from the floor, and 66% from the free throw line. But that's misleading. If you look at the first 3 years of his career, Ralph Sampson, he averaged 20.7 points, 10.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 50.5% shooting from the floor, and 66% from the line. Number one, people got to remember that he played power forward when he was in the league. He was more of a finesse type guy, but he could ram it on your ass. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the most physical guy, but he could ram it on you. Well, I should say yam it on you, because that's the terminology people use now. He could yam it on you. he could. Matter of fact, I just thought about it. Oh boy, that just yeah. I didn't even think about the way I said it. Did it? Ram it on your ass. Wow. No homo. Yeah, it does sound funny, doesn't it? I'm sorry, Mr. Sampson. I ain't mean to insinuate no insinuations. All right, but let me get serious. Yeah, I think Ralph Sampson was playing today would probably be like a hybrid of maybe Wemby and Giannis. He would be a much better ball handler than Wemby and a better passer than Wemby. I don't think he would be quite as dominant on the defensive end of the ball as Wemby is. But I could see the offense running through him. He had the requisite ball handling ability. He'd be even better today. Today, the game is different, so the offense will run through him. And I can see, I agree with the 30 points per game. If he's a healthy Ralph Sampson and he's not having to share the offensive load with Akeem Olajuwon, as he was known back then before he became Hakeem. But I could see him averaging 27 to 30, maybe even pushing 31 or something like that. I could see him averaging. Now, the 20 rebounds is bullshit. I don't see him averaging 20 rebounds a game, but I could see him averaging 9 to 11 rebounds, and I could see 5.5 to 6.5 assists. And I think he would be an absolute terror with the spacing they have today. I don't know if he would be a great 3-point shooter. I don't know if he'd be great just because of his size and just the mechanics that most big men have, the issues they have. But if he could, I think he could probably get to like 32, 33, 34% from three. But I think he would take away from his game like a Wemby does if he shoots too many of them. Like if he keeps it to like 4 or 5 a game, fine. And if he's taking 20-some shots or 21, 22 shots a night, maybe 4 or 5 threes a night. If you're rolling from outside, then that's something different. But I think he'd be much better focusing on the mid range. And today's bigs, you can't stand the post too long. Thanks to the Charles Barkley rule, you can't stand the post for 20 seconds trying to score. But yeah, I think he'd be an absolute monstrous lob threat if he was playing with like a point guard that excelled in throwing lobs. He'd be great in that aspect. You could still score in the post, we just gotta be quicker with it. So, he would still be a very effective scorer, and as far as trying to think of like how I want to put this. I think he would be not as physical as Giannis, but I think that if he got with his size, if he got within 3 feet of the rim without proper defensive resistance, it's a bucket. I put it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you just have he'll be one of them guys that you just gotta hope that he's having an off night. Now the real Ralph Sampson, when I say the real Ralph Sampson, I'm talking about the one that played back in the 80s. I think what started happening to him too that took away from his game was that he stopped playing like a big man slowly, and he started wanting to prove that he was a skilled player. And he started becoming more and more obsessed with shooting from outside and displaying his ball handling ability, which was good, but considering that you're not a point guard, still leaves you open to and with the potential to turn the ball over a lot. So I think if he was playing today, I think that one of the downsides for Ralph Sampson is I tend to think with his mindset, he would have the issue that Wemby has, which is trying to shoot too much from outside and probably turn the ball over a little bit at times. Those are some of the things I think that he would have problems with. But if he can keep it a balance and keep it a buck, he would be a top 3 player in the league. Because remember, in his prime, in his apex, 83, 84, 85 into 86, shit, I would say he was a top 3 or 4 big man in the league at the time. Like what? Moses, Kareem, Akeem, and Sampson, right? At that point in time? Am I missing somebody? Robinson wasn't in the league yet. Ewan wasn't in the league yet. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Kareem, well, Moses, Hakeem, Kareem, and Ralph Sampson. Yeah. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this one. Tell me what you guys think.